same way you showed me. Cannonball off the porch side, older kids trying off the roof. Just the same way you showed me. You showed. If you could die and come back to life, up for air from the swimming pool, you kneel down to the dry land, kiss the earth that birthed you, gave you tools just to stay alive and make it out when the sun is ruined. That's the same way you showed me. You showed me love, glory from above, regard, dear. It's all downhill from here. Real life, remember how it was. I'm cheap, Michael Jackson, all in shit. Say what up to Randy, the shoe. Say what up to Penny. Say what up to life and my time. Running on my bikes, running up. Not for me, 18, still in granny 6. Take it easy. Give me some sweet, which I might like immortality. This is life, life, immortality. That's the way every day goes. Every time we've no control. If the sky is pink and white, if the ground is black and yellow, it's the same way you showed me. Nod my head, don't close my eyes, halfway on a slow move. It's the same way you showed me. If you could fly, then you'd feel south. Up north's getting cold soon. The way it is, we're on land, so I'm someone to hold true. Keep you cool when it's still alive. Won't let you down when it's all ruined. Just the same way you showed me. Showed me. You showed me love, glory from above. It's all downhill from here. In the wake of a hurricane, dark skin of a summer shade, nosedive in the floodlines, tall tower, milk crate. It's the same way you showed me. Cannonball off the porch side, older kids trying off the roof. Just the same way you showed me. You showed. If you could die and come back to life, up for air from the swimming pool, you kneel down to the dry land, kiss the earth that birthed you, gave you tools just to stay alive and make it out when the sun is ruined. That's the same way you showed me. Showed. You showed me love, glory from above, regard, dear. It's all downhill from here. Real life, remember how it was. I'm cheap, Michael Jackson, all in shit. Say what up to Randy, sky is pink and white, if the ground is black and yellow, it's the same way you showed me. Nod my head, don't close my eyes, halfway on a slow move, it's the same way you showed me. If you could fly, then you'd feel south. Up north's getting cold soon. The way it is, we're on land, so I'm someone to hold true. Keep you cool when it's still alive, won't let you down when it's all ruined. Just the same way you showed me, showed me. You showed me love, glory from above, regard, dear. It's all downhill from here. In the wake of a hurricane, dark skin of a summer shade, nose dive in the floodlines, tall tower, milk crate. It's the same way you showed me. Cannonball off the porch side, older kids trying off the roof. Just the same way you showed me. You showed. If you could die and come back to life, up for air from the swimming pool, you kneel down to the dry land, kiss the earth that birthed you, gave you tools just to stay alive and make it out when the sun is ruined. That's the same way you showed me, showed. You showed me love, glory from above, regard, dear. It's all downhill from here. Remember life, remember how it was. I'm G, Michael Jackson, all this shit. Say what up to Maggie, the shoe. Say what up to Benny. Say what up to life and my time. Running up my bikes, running up. Not for me, 18, still in granny six. Take it easy, give me something sweet, which I might like immortality. This is life, life, immortality.
Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is August 30th, 2023. And I am seeing on the charts the potential for us to break that 1,000-day resistance at 32K and target $45,000 per Bitcoin. Okay, I know that's not super popular right now given the current price action, but I'm going to talk about why I think this is likely. Guys, if that interests you, then watch until the very end. Hope you're having a great day. Let's go on the Bitcoin chart. I haven't seen this chart in a few hours. So Michael says, good day, Dean. Thanks in advance. Thank you, Michael. Thanks for being here. And Cloud9 Hostel says, ha 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 ha, calm down. First 20 to 21K. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. Awesome. All right. So let's get into it. Let's start out with Bitcoin today. And we are at 27,136. what am I seeing here? What am I seeing? Okay, so yesterday we got a move up, an impulsive move up, okay? And ever since, we've been slowly coming back down, okay? So we took literally 1 hour to go up. No, it wasn't 1 hour. We took about 3 to 4 hours, right? 3 to 4 hours to go all the way from 26K to 28K. And ever since, we've taken about 24 plus hours just to retrace, not completely, not the move 100%. We've retraced about 50% of the move. As you can see here, I've pulled up the Fibonacci retracement tool, and you can see that you have a 50% retracement in Bitcoin. Okay, what do we make of that? If you followed my work for quite some time, you know this is a quintessential zigzag. What is a zigzag? A zigzag is a corrective pattern, okay? But a zigzag is both impulsive and corrective. So a zigzag is a pattern where you get an impulse, a correction, and then followed up by an impulse. So it's an ABC corrective pattern where the first wave, the A wave, is a 5-wave impulse, right? And I think it's safe to say that this is likely a 5-wave impulse, okay? And that this is a retracement, a B-wave retracement, right, of some sort. And then what follows should be a nice 5-wave retracement. Now, what I like about this is the fact that you know, well, you may or may not know, but a zigzag in Elliott wave theory needs to retrace between the 0.5 and the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level of the A wave, okay? So the B wave, right, which this would be if this is indeed a zigzag, the B wave would have to retrace to at least the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level to at most the 0.618 retracement level. So we took just 4 hours to come up, right? And that is characteristic of an impulse. An impulse is characterized by impulsive price action. Impulsive means fast. It means very little resistance exhibited. It means 5 waves up or 5 waves down, whatever. It's impulsive, right? And then corrective price action is characterized by slow, torpid, really subtle, accumulative or distributive price action. So this fits the bill. And so if we're reading this as such, right, and this is the power of, reading these potentials on and knowing your corrective price action. I always say, like, the most important part of Elliott wave is the corrective price action. Everybody reads 5 waves up, right? But really, if you want to have a competitive advantage against, the rest of the market, on a high degree of probability what's likely to come based off of what you see. So here we have 2 out of 3 pieces of the puzzle. Again, A wave, B wave, then we should expect a fully unadulterated impulsive C wave, okay? And that is what I'm expecting to go to 45K, okay? So people like Cloud Hostel 9, everybody has whatever ideas. A lot of people are thinking it's going to break down, and that's fine. But just looking at the likelihood of a breakdown, it just seems more and more unlikely, given that you spent 11 days basing here, and you did indeed prove that the move was up and not down. That A wave, or purported A wave, shows that these 11 days of consolidation, of accumulation, proved to be accumulative. They proved to be a precedent for the move up. And what you got is a subsequent, not reversal, but consolidation, right? A minimal consolidation. Because again, The maximum consolidation of a zigzag is a 0.618 Fibonacci retracement, right? And when you think about corrective waves, you could have flat corrections where you retrace all the way to the 1618, so you make a lower low. You didn't even get that in this case. You literally did the minimal amount of retracement, but people, as they tend to be, are impatient and impulsive, right? Because the first wave happened in 4 hours and the next wave took, even though it retraced only 50% of the first wave, because it took 24 hours, everybody's like, oh, I see it's going down to zero. Understand that if you're going down below where you started, meaning if this is to swing failure, you're going to have to break these 11 days of consolidation, now newly created support. Please understand that. That's just basic technical analysis. This is now a level of support that's decently enough strong because you spent 11 days there. And actually, if you zoom out for a second, and again, this is all probabilistic, but we're just playing the probabilities. If you zoom out for a second, look at what you're forming. A, B, C, or W, X, Y, however you want to count it, it's more likely than not that you do continue to this next major resistance, which is that 1,000-day, $32,000 level, right? But I'll say more than just going to that $32,000 level, and Cloud Hustle 9, who said, oh, chill out, we're going to 2021K. I think the more intelligent sort of response would be, chill out, we're going to only 32K, because 32K is literally 1,000 days of resistance. Look. Okay, so we're on the daily time frame. Let's make this a little bigger. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget. So if you pull out, so you see this line right here, right? That's 965 days of resistance that you're up against. For 965 days, right? For however many days this level was support, it was lost right here, right? In this bear market declension, you did your consolidation, you're coming back up. So whatever was support is now resistance, right? So add the time it took to make this support, and then add the time we knocked our heads against it right here, knocked our heads against it right here, knocked our heads against this right here. This is a legitimate 1,000-day resistance, okay? So let's start there. If anything, the real big risk I'm taking in saying we're going to 45K is making light work of 32K, which is a 1,000-day resistance, but I'm not really, and I'm going to explain why I'm not making light of that 1,000-day resistance, okay? Here's why. So if you look at my analysis, I'm saying this, that we're not going to ignore 32K, but we're going to do what we do when we break major resistance, is we're going to come back later on and treat it as support. We're going to make it into support. I'm not saying we're going to go to 120K straight out. I'm saying, no, we're going to 45K. Let me erase this because I don't need it right now. I'm just going to draw it in. So what I'm saying is this. I'm saying that Bitcoin is likely to continue its move up from this level, break this 1,000-day resistance at 32K, hit its head on 45K resistance, which is the next major resistance, as you can see here, right? This was resistance, swing failure right there, right? So 45K would be your next major resistance. Another way to get the 45K target is, as I said yesterday, using this as an inverse head and shoulders. Take your technical target of that inverse head and shoulders, superimposed from the neckline, you get that 45K level, okay? So a lot of confluence at that 45K level. Also, if you just look at this as being a massive neckline, you broke the neckline, you broke the neckline right here, and you retested it twice, okay? Now you go and you complete your inverse head and shoulders bullish reversal pattern, okay? So 45K is, in my view, an obvious target, okay, for the reasons I just stated. Now, if we do go to 45K, why else would it be a very nice target? Because look at this. Assuming that this is a zigzag and our full pure impulse would start around here, right? Where we're at right now, around 27K. Pulling your Fibonacci retracement from here to our purported next target at 45K gives you what? It gives you a traceback or a retest of the phi ratio at almost exactly 32K, which is your 1,000-day resistance. Do you see that? Like, this is why I like this read. There's so much confluence saying this makes sense. It makes sense that from this level, we move through, because what happens in any impulse, whether up or down, you move through major resistance, you move through major support, and then after having done that, you come back and retest it. So this is what I believe is likely happening, moving through the 1,000 days of resistance. And it's not, please understand, I understand it's 1,000 days of resistance. If it were the first time meeting that level, I would say no, there's no way in hell on the first touch we go through. That doesn't work that way, at least not historically. Like, you know, doing back testing, you have to test levels frequently, right? So this is one test, this is two tests, three tests, this would be the fourth time testing that 1,000 days of resistance ever since it was lost in May of 2022. Okay, so I think on the fourth try, we already got rejected from it 3 times. On the fourth try, we go and break it and then finally make it support. So that's my Bitcoin analysis, guys. Let me know what you think. I don't think it's that crazy, I don't think it's that outlandish, but obviously everybody has their own opinion. And so that's just my ideas based off of Bitcoin's price action. Okay, now you also have to take into account what altcoins are doing and what the DXY is doing, because altcoins are going to mirror this price action if that's true. Okay, so I'm gonna just have a quick look at some positions that I'm holding. Okay, and for me, these are in a different phase. They're in a different market phase, so it's a little different, a little difficult to compare. But still, we can see that, for instance, something like Arweave went up yesterday, right? And now has come down to about the phi ratio. Okay, we can say that it went up yesterday and it came down to about the phi ratio, where it's likely finding some sort of support if it moves up from here. Do you see what I mean? So Bitcoin put in a zigzag, as we just showed, going up really quickly and then coming down, but Bitcoin stopped at the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement. Here we're right at the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement, if indeed we do find support and move up from here. Okay, so you can also see a zigzag in a lot of other assets. Sometimes you'll see a flat correction, like here, DYDX is putting in a flat correction. This is obviously, this is what happened yesterday, 3 waves up, and then you see 3 waves down. So that B wave, this is a flat correction where you even made a lower low. Okay, but still, you put in a corrective move and you came back correctively. Okay, so although this is flat and not a zigzag, the idea is still that this is A, B, and you're looking for C, fully impulsive move to the upside. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing in DYDX. Litentry, this is an example of perhaps a full, yeah, this is probably a wave 4. See, everything's in a little bit of a different phase. So this can't be a zigzag. Why? Because you haven't come down to at least the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. Yeah. So what this has to be is at it has to be fully impulsive, and this has to be some sort of wave 4 Fibonacci retracement level, right? It can't be a wave 2. It has to be a wave 4 because it hasn't come down to the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level of the preceding move, okay? So everything's looking a little different, but you know, the idea is you went up yesterday and you came down, and those two sequences are related, okay? I still think this is an A wave and this is a B wave. And again, this is a flat correction that you're seeing in synthetics. Okay. So you see how things are doing similar things, but in different waves. Okay. Zilica, that's another example of a zigzag, right? You know it's a zigzag because it can't be fully impulsive. Again, because you came up in just a small period of time, like 4 hours, and you came down, took more than 24 hours to come down. That's got to be an ABC zigzag, just like what Bitcoin's doing. Let's look at one more. Let's look at Ethereum, and then we're going to look at the total too. Okay, so Ethereum. See, this is another example. Let's see if this is a zigzag or we're fully impulsive. Okay, I think this is an example of a zigzag. If we pull it from here, I think this is an example of a zigzag. You might have to come down just a touch to hit that 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, but I think this is likely what Bitcoin's doing as well, right? Going up in 5, coming down in 3, and then going up in 5 for the full impulsive move. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing with Ethereum. And to really hammer this this home, I would say we want to have a look at the DXY. Yes, just like Daniel just said. Daniel says, yeah, I think it makes sense, especially if DXY plays ball. And so the DXY is why one of the reasons I'm more inclined to make this read on the market. So let's look at the DXY. So just like we said yesterday, we're likely in some failure pattern, a swing failure pattern where we finally reached a top and we started distributing, okay? And it looks as if we're finally going back down into our 160-day channel, right? Now let's zoom in for a second. So the DXY looks like it's currently trading, it's currently creating this swing failure pattern, and it has made this head and shoulders. But is it going to find support and keep going up? That's the question. And I think that's what Daniel means. Let's go on the hourly time frame. So on the hourly time frame, we don't have that much clarity, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, it looks as if, okay, it's Wednesday, right? We have plenty of time in the weekday for the DXY to keep trading, i.e. for the DXY to keep making this move to the downside. I believe it's likely that we continue this impulse to the downside, and that all of these little moves here are simply interwave corrections, right? So we're going to see if that does continue to play out. But if we're correct, what you're going to see is we're going to find some sort of resistance here and then continue to drop in the DXY, i.e. sending Bitcoin to the upside. And then the other point I want to make is, reading the DXY, we're on significant support, okay? So for Bitcoin to go to 45K, we do need some juice, all right? That move is, let's see. So Bitcoin at 45K would be what, a 70% move, something like that? Let's see. So from here, Bitcoin of 45K would be, yeah, a 64% move. Yeah, getting a 64% move after so long of not doing anything, you do need a bit of compliance from the DXY. So if the DXY does break this support right here, okay, then I believe this is when we get, it breaks this support, right? And it breaks back into this channel, then I think that we start getting a lot more interesting moves in crypto, okay? So this is what I'm seeing in the DXY. And I'm going to close out the show by looking at the altcoins. We're going to have a look at the total 2 chart, okay? So we did look at some individual altcoins, and guys, if you want me to look at, you know, any particular altcoins, just put it in the chat. But let's look at the total 2 chart, which is, you know, basically all altcoins put together. And let's start off on the daily time frame and see what's going on. Okay, so it is basically showing us what we're seeing in most assets, which is we put in a strong move to the upside yesterday and came back down and have yet to, you know, we basically retraced about halfway. So let's go on the smaller time frame. Let's get rid of this. So here it's exactly what we're seeing in most major assets, and that makes sense because, you know, the larger cap assets are going to be more representative of what's going on given their market cap. So what you're seeing here is maybe it's like this, maybe it's like this, I don't know. What you're seeing here is yesterday we put in very strong move to the upside, right, in 2 4-hourly candles, and ever since we've been coming down for much longer than it took to go up. That tells you it's not purely impulsive. It can't be purely impulsive. Only if we stay between the 236 and the 382 could it be a wave 4 correction. Breaking the 382 Fibonacci retracement level, you know it's not a wave 4 correction. So the only other option is that it should be, as we said, a zigzag. 5 waves up, 3 waves down, find support between the 0.5 and the 618, and then go back for 5 waves up. So the total 2 aggregate chart for all altcoins is basically telling us what Bitcoin's telling us. It's basically telling us what Ethereum's telling us, and most altcoins are telling us, okay? So what I think the move is, the trade is to expect for altcoins, Bitcoin, especially charts that look like this, okay? I'm not talking about these flat correction charts. That's a little more challenging. But charts that look like this, to finally find some support in this region, right? In this 0.5618 region, and then head up impulsively. And while Bitcoin is targeting 45K, breaking that 1,000-day resistance, altcoins are equally going to be doing something very impressive. Now, altcoins, if you don't know, are up against this resistance right here, which is a 500-day resistance, okay? So 500 days, actually, no, it's more than 500 days, right? Because it's also 1,000 days. Because look, if I use the same method of analysis and I extrapolate back to where this sort of, this distribution channel was forming, you can also say that this is 1,000 days worth of resistance, because it was support for 400 days, and then it was resistance for 400 plus days, okay? So it's 900 days of resistance, okay? 900 days of resistance, 1,000 days of resistance, give or take, whatever. So just like Bitcoin, I do expect for altcoins to break through this level, okay? And again, even though it's really staunch, really important resistance, understand that it's not our first time testing it. We tested it once. We've tested it twice. We've tested it 3 times. This would be the 4th time. So what do I expect? Just like Bitcoin, I expect for us to find some support at this level, go up to this level of 1 trillion, thereabouts, right? Maybe right here. Okay, and come right back down to the phi ratio, which would do two things. One, it would retest that 1,000-day resistance as support, right? Or 900-day resistance as support, right? And two, it would retest this bullish reversal pattern, whatever you want to call it, cup and handle, inverse head and shoulders. It would retest the neckline. So that's it. I see similar things going on in Bitcoin and the altcoin markets, and that should, this is something that we should expect because both markets are intertwined. So Daniel wants to have a look at H-bar. Let's have a look at H-bar for Daniel. Let's see. Okay. Guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're getting value. Let's go into the general watch list. Maybe H-bar is here. Let's see. H-bar. Okay, here we go. So H-bar is, whoops. So H-bar put in a move to the upside yesterday, just like everything else, and has since been coming down, right? But you can see that H-bar is also likely putting in some sort of zigzag, right? It could end up being a flat correction, but as we stand, it seems like a zigzag, right? You go 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. I'm on the daily time frame. So this is what happened. I'm looking at many days, over many days. Like what? This is. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a second, but okay, I guess we're talking about the last 2 weeks in H-bar. Last 2 weeks in H-bar looked like a zigzag, where you came up for 3 days and then you've been coming down ever since. It looks like you're finding support here, okay? So jumping down into the 4-hourly time frame, you look like you've round tripped. So you put in a flat correction. Okay, so yesterday you put in a move to the upside, a modest move to the upside, and then you came all the way back down to where you started. That's a quintessential flat correction. But I think on the whole, you're finding support at this phi ratio right here, right, for H-bar, around the 0.618, around 5.3 cents, 5.4 cents, and that, just like Bitcoin and a lot of alts, you should find support here for a purely impulsive move to the upside. Okay, so that's what I see in H-bar. Next major resistance. Let's go to the daily time frame. So next major resistance for H-bar to me would be okay, this is a bit tricky. Okay, the way I would do this conservatively, I don't like doing those projections. Okay, what jumps out to me, and for projections it's a little tricky, but the one thing that jumps out to me is that price tried to get above here and couldn't on multiple occasions over the course of a long period of time. So back in May 2022, try to get above this level, couldn't do it. In February of 2023, try to get above this level, couldn't do it. So for me, this line that I just drew in H-bar is significant, okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the day, you put in a zigzag. How do you project zigzags? Typically you go A wave, retracement of the B wave, and then target the 1 to the 1, 2, 3, 6. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, look. I got Confluence. So if I was in a trade with HBAR and I'm looking to take profit somewhere because I haven't taken profit in a long time, true story, I'm targeting this line right here, okay, which is at 9.8 cents, 9.9 cents thereabouts, okay? Two things about that. One, the line represents the resistance I showed you over a fairly long period of time, right? About 500 days. This has consistently been resistance for the price. And two, if you do the, the typical projection of an A wave, B wave, C wave projection of a zigzag, you're looking, like I said, between the 1 and 1236 for a target, and that line falls almost exactly in between the 1 and 1236. So I'm projecting HBAR to 9.8 cents for that reason, right? In that move. So that's about what? That's about an 80 some odd % move from here. And after that, as per usual, I'm expecting a retest to the phi ratio. Okay? Which would be more or less a retest of this neckline here. Okay, something down here. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing with HBAR. Hope that was helpful. Alright guys, that's pretty much all I've got. There's nothing really much else to say, just waiting for the move to happen. Right now, I know it looks bleak, but I believe that we're going to get this move sooner than later. Okay, not just in Bitcoin, but in altcoins as well. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you've gotten value. And I will see you very shortly. Take care.